so I'm adding.
Yo!
Hey!
And
Hey,
Ladislav is
I
right
just
here.
got that shirt too, the Black Lives Matter.
Oh, nice. It's a
It's
brilliant shirt.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's been great. And Ladislav. I said that wrong.
You need to pronounce it tougher.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm a soft boy.
Just maybe with some Latina accent. No, I like. Honestly, you should doing it with a Russian style accent.
Oh, that's the secret. I can't do Russian accent. I'm gonna embarrass myself here.
Ladislav Navratil, I would say.
I don't know. Now I kind of want to hear it.
Oh no! I'm gonna get canceled if I do it. I don't know.
I know.
No, there's no way. No, this is great. I can't believe I'm on this panel with all y'all. This is awesome. What a fun conference. I think we're like all over the world, right?
Oh yeah.
Pedro, how late is it right now? Where are you right now?
I'm in Kiev right now, and it's 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my god!
And I'm waiting until Ladislav shoots me some Red Bulls in my face.
Yeah, you got the night shift, baby. That's a tough one.
Yeah, because I'm a Red Bull dehydrated.
That would do it. I don't know about you. I need sleep. I sleep like 40 hours a day, so I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And Colby, you're on the East Coast, and I assume Ladislav. I tried harder. I didn't.
No, it's really good, man. Like it's really how it should be.
Ladislav.
Yeah. Ladislav.
It's still much better. Everyone in America always call it Ladia, like it's a shorter version, and it's just it's fun.
I love it.
But
no, I love
Ladislav is cool, like. Yeah.
Can you guys tell me? I'm curious. What is the texting like out in Russia?
You know that I'm not from Russia, right? I'm
Where
from Czech Republic. Czech Republic, Prague. Yeah.
I'm curious. Yeah.
But my wife is Russian, so I guess I can, on her behalf, to speak about the Russian tech scene over there.
No. Talk about Czech. I'd rather hear about where you're from.
No. It's a Czech name, it's all the Slovenians' names. They're all the same, so it sounds Russian.
I love it.
You're gonna hear that call? Gonna hear the talk?
Yeah, I just got a call. Sorry, y'all. If you see, it says scam likely on my phone. So I think I'm not gonna answer it today.
No, answer it. Let's make fun with it.
Oh, totally. I've been watching this Twitch streamer who's been posting. He posts just scam baiting videos, and he just streams calling.
Nice.
I love it. I'm addicted. It's the dumbest video series I've ever been watching.
Can you send us?
It's great.
I think it's exactly what the petrol needs in 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. We can scam some. We can bait some scammers. See how long we can keep on the line for. No, I love that.
Let's play Call of Duty, guys.
Call of Duty? I'm into it.
I love that.
It's either Call of Duty or TikTok videos. I mean, we got one here.
Yeah, we can make some crappy TikTok videos with me if you guys want to. I've been thinking about it. I'm sitting in the back room what should I do? I could make a TikTok.
Can I actually suck it off with my personal question? How is it important for a developer to have TikTok account in terms of
it's a major must thing.
If you look into the future, 5 years from now, could TikTok...
Let me wildly speculate. So I have a small following on TikTok, which is great. I know and I have to say there's not many of us. We call ourselves the Tech Talk crew. There's a small, I don't know. It feels like the Wild West days of YouTube. We're still trying to figure out how to use this medium. And as a developer advocate, I'm trying to figure out how to engage people in a new way using TikTok, which is it's something's working. I think something's working with it. It's definitely not necessary. And it's definitely it doesn't feel as like Twitter. I get more informative information from. I get a little bit from TikTok. But I don't know. It's opened way more doors than I ever thought possible with TikTok. I don't know. You don't need one, but it's super fun.
I guess I got to get on my tech talk grind.
Exactly. It's exhausting, dude. It's exhausting, but I love it. It's super fun. The community's super fun. Twitter is just a toxic dumpster fire nightmare mess, and TikTok is just so much nicer. Also, I work for MongoDB, and after you guys heard Oracle, another database company, is considering buying it. So if Oracle purchases it, it might be way more relevant,
Yeah,
at least for me particularly. So we'll see. We'll, I don't
So
know.
are we doing the TikTok video right now? Because I never did any, so it could be my first one.
We already did it.
Can we do it? Like, who's gonna run it? I can do it
Yeah.
with my iPhone.
Yeah, it's already done. I
What
posted
you
it.
guys, what you guys in chat think? Can you drop? Is there a TikTok emoji yet? No, there is not.
None exists. You can make one now.
If there were a TikTok emoji, what it would be look like? Can they drop something that looks like a TikTok emoji? So we
Who's they? Are you just like saying somebody should do this?
the people in chat, yeah.
Oh, someone in chat got it. Yeah. No, that's good. They said it representing us Americans accurately. I appreciate
I
that.
have to Google it.
Okay, guys, let's go. Let me ask you some questions because we got
Sure. This is a Q&A.
minds. Ask,
You have another one?
I don't know. A good question too. Melissa Murphy asked, "What's one change the new developer could make to come into interviews job stronger? What's one lesson you learned or wish you would have at the start of your career?" I think that was related to Colby talk, but you, three of you, could answer this.
Yeah,
And
just everyone do like a quick little
that's
thing.
a lifestyle question, actually. So yeah, let's kick it off with a lifestyle question, and then go from there. You all right?
What's the question? It's like career advice we wish we had when we first started.
Like,
working.
what's one change the new developers could make to come into interview jobs stronger? What's one lesson you learned or wish you would have at the start of your career before you began?
I'll let someone. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Kobe, you want to take this one, and then I'll
Yeah,
go
I can-
afterward.
I can start off, yeah, sure. So one thing that like I've kind of been noticing with the community is it's very, very, very helpful to learn in public. And Sean Wang Swix wrote a book about this, but being able to kind of learn in public by talking about what you're working on and the things that you're learning in the process is both helping other people learn those same problems from a different perspective, but also you're kind of revalidating the things you know. But having employers be able to see your body of work and read that shows like your work ethic and what you're trying to do. And I think that's become a really, really valuable thing. And I think that's one of the things that I would have done differently is from the beginning, just write, and share my work.
Love that. I think that's awesome advice. Something I've been talking. I just actually gave my first keynote on Sunday, but I think the thesis of my keynote was basically like try to find a community of people that support you. I started going to school in 2008 when one of the many times the economy collapsed, but I hated programming and I started doing it out of fear because I wanted money. And I hated it. And it wasn't until like I found people who really liked programming that like helped me find the joy in programming. And honestly, that's why I'm here today too. Like I'm trying to spread my love of programming with everybody. Like if you have a boss that's shitty and like doesn't support you, like go and find and create communities that will build you up.
And projects which you will fall in love to, right? It's helping when you see the meaning of what you're doing is the most important. I think I have also one advice, and it's like always do the project, like really find something what exists. It means doesn't do just something what will stay on your table, like really find a real life project and show it to people, go out with it. Don't do it just for yourself. This is the most important thing. When I was starting, I just assigned for job. I said I can do it even when I couldn't, and I just figured it out on the way, So like, this is exactly what you have to do. Put their goal, go for it, show it to people.
I love that. And even as like a senior tech lead, I still do that. I'm like, I don't know how to build this. I'll figure it out. We'll Google it together.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're senior, only thing what you know as a senior is just make the poker face, that they don't know what you don't know,
We know how to make Google searches slightly better.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what we get paid for. We don't get paid because we know JavaScript really well. We get paid to solve problems that the business needs.
Exactly.
The languages might change, but the problems still need to get solved. We need to figure it out.
Well said.
Yep.
Nice. I just want to keep agreeing with you.
That's the best.
There's another question by Aditya V. What is the best way to authorize the queries and mutations? So that's a technical one. Who's gonna answer that? Ladislav or Colby?
Query mutation? That sounds like
That sounds like a
GraphQL
Joe thing, right?
Yeah. Wait, what was the question again? I'm trying to find it here.
What is the best way to authorize the queries and mutations?
Well, it depends on you're building it. Like, you can of course enforce security behind the scenes. With MongoDB, like with Atlas, you can do it on the cloud. You have like user permissions, like access data. That's the easiest way to do it with Atlas. You just say like these users can do this with the data. You can do that all in the GUI or in the command line. But protecting the data is a good way to do that. You can enforce that differently if you're building your own GraphQL endpoint from scratch, though.
Nice.
Security is like one of those things that's so important and it's so boring to talk about. Again, it's so important. It's hard to like make security cool and sexy. It's like, yeah, it's important. You just gotta set user permissions up and whatever, and it's a boring slog, but it's super important to do that.
There is another question by Hartish Venkatesh, but you guys need to help me out because there are a lot of shortenings, just letters, just a couple of letters that you understand for sure. So I see a lot of GD sidelining HTML, CSS, and focusing more on framework. What is your opinion on that, Colby? Is it too confusing looking at GDs where they ask to be versed with all frameworks?
So I think JDs, I'm guessing that's junior developers. So I see a lot of junior developers sidelining HTML to focus more on frameworks. So it's interesting. Part of the issue is that people over-focus on those frameworks and they get so tied up in that they forget to actually focus on some of the things that matter, like actually building something. But at the same time, like I think there's a lot of value in that, because if there's a framework that's going to keep you interested in it and keep you motivated to actually learn these things, then that's incredibly valuable. But I think it's really a balance of trying to figure out what helps drive your motivation, but being able to figure out those fundamentals to have a good solid base.
If I can add something, just always question what you're choosing, be open to change, don't stuck with the framework, otherwise you are killing yourself. And bring something what will make your work easy as possible. And if there is something new and it's easier to do it, just change. And be always able to adapt for the changes, because if we know the JavaScript and all the world around, it's the place which are changing all the time. So be ready for that.
Amazing, guys. Amazing. Amazing once again. Rustan G asks, when REST API use middleware for security, what GraphQL use for that?
I could take this one again too. They're actually just the vanilla Express GraphQL package. If you're setting up your own GraphQL node server from scratch, use that. There's a bunch of authentication middleware built into it, and logging and all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one I always use. It works great.
Okay. Anyone else want to reply to that question? Or is it enough?
Everyone's all up on security today, which is good. I didn't touch on it at all in my talk.
Next time.
Why is it better? Yeah, just need to appreciate our viewers, I would say. I wonder, why is it better for accessibility readers to use button element than a deal with an click handler? You should treat it the same, right?
So they don't treat it the same. I don't know of the technical details between how like an actual screen reader works, but at a browser level and the thing that's hosting the website, it sees the functionality in the button differently. So it has native functionality that comes with that button element, where div doesn't come with any of that.
Okay, nice. Good. Guys in the chat, I want to ask you to send more questions so we could ask them.
Yeah, well, if we're like, there's no questions, I feel like there's still some, like, something. I would love to keep talking about career advice. I feel like that's resonating with the audience a little bit here.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure all of us have more shit we could say. I also just want to add one more thing here, too. Like, I'm a cis white dude talking to all y'all about I mean, all of us are white men, or at least like white. Everyone, like, we're pure white, right? I don't know. I want to just acknowledge too that like a lot of us might not have like the same privileges or experiences that we had too with it. I don't know. Something I found is really useful though is finding sponsors. So sponsors are people who are going to be willing to be able to speak up for you in meetings when you're not there. Like get you instead of like a lot of people are over mentored, like, and under sponsored. try not to have people who are going to just like mansplain at you about what you should be doing to get ahead, and like try to find people who are actually going to like help you get ahead. And that may take a while, especially if you're a new developer, but try to find it.
I feel like that falls in line with the comment from Barbara there. She had a senior developer say that shouldn't waste time on writing HTML. I think that's not the best idea. I mean, a good reason being is HTML practically works as is within inside React. So when you're writing React code, a lot of the times you're just writing HTML.
Yeah.
Yep.
I totally agree. The line gets so blurry, dude. It's like, my last job, we were doing server-rendered React components. So like we're writing HTML in React on a node server on the back end. You know what I mean? Like the full, like we're doing, you know what I mean? It's the line between front end and back end is blurred. The line between JavaScript and HTML is blurred. Like it's, yeah, fuck that guy. I don't know. Whatever. Also, like, just do whatever you need to do. Like, but if you're getting pigeonholed because you're a woman into like only writing HTML and not doing more serious like engineering work or whatever, and you want to do that, that's a problem. Like your boss is probably being a sexist asshole. Yeah, you probably want to get out of there. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do, but
I mean, HTML is the fundamental building block of the web. So I mean, you should know how to build with the fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely.
To help you to change when they'll be needed, you know. So you have to always understand under the hood. It will prepare you exactly to understand the framework, if it's good, if it's not good, if you're using it correctly, if you're not attached to it for too much time and so on. So fundamentals are must-have. But on the beginning, again, focus. You want to build something, right? Do it whatever you want. Like from outside, it's still the house, you know. No one see what is under the hood. So if you know just HTML or just plain JavaScript or something, just use it, play with it, and after you'll find out the better ways how to do it faster, and you will always think how stupid you were. And if you have these feelings, you're doing it correctly.
Yeah, I totally agree. Mitch Stewart brought this up too, I think, which is a great segue to with Colby and I's content too, with your 50 React project. And me just wanting to build stuff. But he's asking if like recreating other people's projects is a good way to learn something. I said this in my talk that I thought that's how I learn. I don't learn from watching YouTube videos. I learn from like doing code, and like getting something working is a good way for me to learn it, and then I can start adapting it to what I want to do. But I'm curious, how do you guys learn, or do you guys have any tips on how you pick up new tech?
I've been chatty. Ladislav, do you have anything you want to add, or else I can step in?
How to learn? I think you can step in.
Okay. So I'm a huge advocate for learning by doing, and that's really however you learn by doing. Like, I love to learn by just kind of diving into a new tool and figuring it out. You know, otherwise, like maybe I'll fork a project and play around with it, break it, and see what makes it tick. But you're gonna learn more. You're gonna learn more when you're actually playing around with the tool and the technology and building with it.
I think I will add one thing. It was always really good when I became the tech lead and when I was after CTO in our company, that I learned how to learn from another mistakes, you know, from the people, and not just the mistakes, but even when someone, and this is really the honor what you have when you're leading the people, because they're giving you the inputs, they're giving you what didn't work and what worked. And if you have the good people which you're choosing by yourself, you basically, it's boosting your career so much, your knowledge, and you don't need to exactly play with everything. You just sucking it from everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it helped me a lot to like speed up, you know, that it's always going faster and faster, I would say.
Yeah. It's okay to make mistakes. Just learn from them.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
totally
a technical question from Nicholas Jose.
Nice name.
Why do you query every 500 milliseconds? Wouldn't that waste network bandwidth? What you guys think about
Is that for me? I think that may have been mine, because I was doing a query on...
Are you doing querying every 400 milliseconds?
I was doing every 500 for my demo. Yeah, I was, and I wouldn't know if I'd recommend that.
Should we blame you here?
It totally depends. It totally depends. Like, because I mean, I built the app Instapost, and I was doing it every 500 milliseconds to show kind of how you could see going over the network, all the GraphQL requests. That would probably not scale super well, and it's probably your users probably don't need a half a second uptime on a crappy demo app, and you're probably going to start paying up the nose for server utilization. But It depends. I don't know. Test it. Like, you want to obviously try to keep things low possible. I did it obviously as a demo, but yeah, if your servers are blowing up and you can't figure out why, that's a good thing to probably lower down if if it's too high.
I think that you took the good approach, because you can really easily say, hey, I can make the performance change, like I can make it 2 times better, and you will just make it, change the constant for 1 second, cool. So
yeah. And even like on Twitter, right? Like, you're not always seeing an up-to-date thing, and it's not like, it's okay if someone doesn't have up to the millisecond,
of course,
latest and greatest. They're probably okay. It depends on your application, of course, what you're building, but for mine, it's okay. Yeah, so it was ridiculous, but for the sake of a demo, yes, it was ridiculous.
People are saying cheers from Brazil.
Tudo bem.
We're gonna cheer back from
Cheer with my imaginary cup.
Czech Republic, Ukraine.
I'll just do water.
Yeah, I got a water bottle.
I got some too.
I thought this one from Sammy was interesting. What was your first project you worked on, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah. You all want to start with that?
Ladislav, how about you start, man?
Okay, I can take this one. First project. I think I was something like 16, so which is like 15 years ago. Fuck. The pretty fancy things were Flash in this time, It was really, let's put back ourselves, This is when JavaScript didn't work on any browser. The major was the Internet Explorer, I think 5 even. There was not even 6, So the web didn't exist basically. Like everything what you had to do was like terrible. And I, as a teenager, like in the high school, I wanted to build a game. So I applied I pretended I had the company, and that I'm building the games. I played a little bit with it by myself, and I won for some big agency here, and we did a really worldwide game, which like shared around, and it was cluster. I don't know how to say it more politely than this F word, but it really didn't work. But on the end, we figured it out. Like, it was working, but it just took, I don't know, 3 times more money than we expect, 5 times more time, but we made it work. And this is exactly that. You choosing the real project, you thinking that you will manage how to do it, and on the end, you will manage how to do it. So it was fun.
Love that. You started so young, man. That's amazing. Colby, you want
Not
to
anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go. So I don't know the exact first project, but my first job was actually as a large format graphic designer. So when I say large format, it was the side of tractor trailers. Like, I would make these big, giant graphic banners. And I think the thing that I learned the most from that, which, it's not developer related, but I learned how to kind of rethink and solve different problems, which I was able to apply to different things with web design and stuff. So I think it's all about that practical experience of problem solving.
Cool. Nice.
I love that you coming from graphic, like, it's not that usual that the graphic designers are becoming the developers. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing code kind of just as a hobby the whole time, and it just eventually crossed where I became a developer.
What was your first paid project? Your first gig that you got some money for it, and then went and spent it? Colby.
Oh, my first paid project was in high school, creating MySpace profiles. That's right. I would overlay custom graphics on top of MySpace profiles, and yeah, it was a nice little side hustle while I was in high school.
Cool. MySpace didn't come to Czech Republic.
Oh no!
Dang it!
You were missing out.
I think a lot of people our age, though, did learn HTML and CSS on MySpace in the US.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of sad, because Facebook and Instagram, like, they didn't allow you to edit your profile page anymore, and a lot of people don't know how to.
There were the games, right, and applications inside of the Facebook. It was pretty popular back then.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's true that the customization was not there. But maybe because of that, it survived and MySpace didn't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think it did because it was easier to use, but at what cost too? I don't know. I'm just like curious to see what the next generation of programmers is going to be coming from. So I think, Colby, your story is pretty similar. Like, that's the way I first started playing around with it, was just with MySpace to like impress my friends.
Yeah.
I want to share my career journey like really fast here too, because I think mine's a little bit different. I didn't start programming until I was in college, and again, I started out of fear because it was the financial collapse, and I hated programming. yeah, I just really struggled with it. But I learned like Java and stuff like that too in college. But I just did it to survive. Even my first job out of school, I hated. It wasn't until like I met some people that really enjoyed it that I really started to like get into programming, particularly like Node and JavaScript. But yeah, and I guess I something I did do too is I moved to Hawaii for a couple of years, but no one hired me because I was such a shitty programmer. So I just started freelancing, doing WordPress development to survive. It's like making like websites and friends' bands websites or local public speakers or whatever. I was so bad at it, and I had like no self-worth. I remember the first website I charged $50, and it probably took me like 40 hours to make the thing for him too. I learned quickly to avoid getting exploited massively, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's good learning experiences.
It was
exactly.
It's hard to teach other people that too. I'm like, you're worth more than this, and especially when you're first starting programming, you feel like a fucking idiot, and like, yeah, it's hard to like be like, you're worth more than $50. Like, this project's probably a couple $1,000. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like you have to get burned a couple times to like learn that lesson.
And especially seeing other people charge more for lesser quality, that was what kind of opened my eyes.
Totally. Yeah, like this numbskull's charging $5,000 for this. Like, what the hell? I totally agree. And it's like kind of intimidating though. I don't know. You know what's funny though? When I was freelancing, every project I would just start charging double what I charged it for, and people just kept saying yes.
Keep going until they say no.
Exactly. It kept going. I ended up getting a job eventually. But yeah, I never hit that ceiling of people starting to say no. They're like, I guess this is what a web developer costs. I get. They don't know. I didn't know.
Just play cool.
Exactly. Like, this is what I'm worth.
But this is exactly the place how you said that the people miss mentoring, you know, because this would be really easy to basically avoid it. And right now I see a lot of graduates and even or they're still on the university in the middle. There are some amazing developers, amazing. Yeah. They can charge themselves like much more, and they're coming to us and they have no experience, and you're really paying them like almost nothing, you know, and you feel kind of a little bit guilty, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But after you understand that it's lesson learned to them, you know, like. Yeah.
I'd recommend all new developers find a mentor, because I had that too when I was like freelancing. I didn't have anyone, and I felt like my skills had kind of plateaued. And it wasn't until I got my next job and I hired like a really smart team that my skills like exploded up. I don't know, especially when you're new. Even now, I need mentors that kind of help bring me up to the next level.
Well, at least money wise and everything, nowadays they're working the headhunters, right? And all this, basically they're your managers when it's about negotiation of the money, or they are telling you, hey, you can charge more and so on. So it's a little bit closer to it, but yeah.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, and recruiters are actually your friend. You guys both have like recruiters, and you have the same end goal. They want
most money.
Exactly.
Money as possible.
Because they get more money the more money you make.
Yes, and also one more advice: when you on the beginning of your career, do a lot of interviews. Don't start with one and take it.
Totally.
Do 10. Do 10. Evaluate it. When you have one, sure, ask for more money. You will see. This is the easiest way how to not to spend years by exactly going for $50 for project, but how you can speed up the career. No, is there?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Dawit just asked something about imposter syndrome, if we've ever been impacted by it, and advice for overcoming it. Anyone want to talk on imposter syndrome?
I can talk.
Love it.
Go for it, yeah.
No, actually, I don't know. You can go. I had a topic for you, but after that question.
Next one. Yeah, you get the next one.
I get the topic for you. I want to see your opinions. I want to hear your opinions.
Great.
I mean,
I never overcame the imposter syndrome, though.
Still in it. That's valid too. Yeah. I think we all are. But,
no, it's a real thing. Like I only started writing and doing talks and stuff in December, and like before that, like I was always the kind of person that would question like, why am I the one who's talking about this kind of thing? But like after kind of talking to some of the junior developers on my team and just other people who I was able to help in the process of my day job, like they kind of helped me realize like maybe your perspective is a little bit different, you know. Maybe somebody will actually learn differently based on the way you say it. And that helps me kind of open up and start writing more. And now like seeing everybody being helped by that makes me want to keep going. So imposter syndrome is real and it's tough.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Do you know about, actually, I want to add up a little bit. about that trait characteristic, I would say. Like when you have high in consciousness, it's very hard for you to have a higher self-esteem than you would otherwise have if you had lower consciousness, because you evaluate yourself realistically, and that's why like you always compare. And maybe there are some other people. Do you feel like that just some maybe neurology to it, to the imposter syndrome, or it's so mental, and when you stop comparing, everything feels so easy?
I mean, there might be a neurological. I mean, we're all computer people. None of us are qualified doctors or psychiatrists here in this room right now. But yeah, I mean, it's something I think everyone deals with, and I do think it's important to normalize it. And again, there might be like medical reasons for having imposter syndrome too. But yeah, Colby, I liked your point too. I love that. It's something I wanted to add to imposter syndrome too is I feel like, and I love you talked about like your perspective is needed. And I want to just encourage new developers to understand that their perspective as a new developer is super critical and important. And other new developers love hearing a new developer's perspective on stuff. You know what I mean? For me, my job is speaking at conferences, and I'm frequently speaking on things I learned a week ago. And I feel like it's always okay for me to say, I don't know. And it's always okay for me to be honest about where I'm at. Like usually if I'm just learned something, I'll be honest to the audience. Like, I learned this a week ago. These are my thoughts on it. And that's still a valid perspective. I'm 1 week ahead of most of the people in the audience.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you like abruptly. I'm going to do it very rude because my team is running back and forth and they asked me to do this. Look.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, gotcha. So we could do
The
the.
first one. Okay, the second one.
Oh. These
You
are
guys
just
are the
all nice
best.
things.
You guys are the best.
Please
Just
write there
nice
someone that we should do the
Sure.
TikTok video. You know,
It's not how to-
if it will come on the screen, we'll do it. I don't know what does it mean even, but we'll do it.
One thing I wanted to add to Joe, your comment though, is the perspective thing. Like it's incredibly important for beginners because the way that a beginner might talk about a particular technology as they're learning it might be completely different from what somebody extremely experienced in it, because they forget some of those things that they had to learn through themselves and might skip over the individual things that beginners might lose.
Yes. Yeah, like you forget what is hard when you're first learning things as like an expert.
Yep.
I totally agree. I love that. Yeah, everyone write a blog post tomorrow about something you just learned or reflection on any of our talks we did today. You know what I mean? Like that's
everybody's homework.
Yeah, and
share it with us. We'll retweet it. Well, I will.
Exactly, for real though. And Colby, I know you just started too. I started like a year or two ago doing talks and writing and stuff like that. And I feel like everyone starts you're not great. It takes a while to like get an audience and get people to listen to you. Like, I think the best thing you can do is just be consistent with it.
Yep.
If you want to like actually advance it, and even if you don't, like writing a blog post once a year, like cool, go like do it. Like anything's better than nothing.
Absolutely. And like the community is so supportive. It's incredible.
Yeah, especially JavaScript. Yeah, it's such a supportive community, especially for newbies.
Yeah.
Nice. Meanwhile, if you got anything to talk, okay, I actually recall that I want to ask you a question about. Guys, I just forgot what I want to ask you, so we need to move forward with it. Like, it's so freaking. I mean, how do you speak English? Okay.
Good one.
It's hard.
That's the question. That's a junior track question. How communication is important. All right. Now I got it, finally. Soft skills for software developer. What's the difference between a guy who earns 50K and 500K? If we're not talking about Google, Facebook, all those billion-dollar baby companies. Soft skills, how is that important? Like, if you ask a question with a number or a date, should you start answering with a number or a date, or you should start telling about how your project were doing?
Are we talking about negotiation, or are we talking about like importance of soft skills?
Importance of soft skills.
Yes,
sir. Yes,
I love
sir.
this.
You know what? I think they're so important. I don't even call them soft skills. I call them core skills. I think soft, like hard sounds technical, and like soft sounds like weak and flabby, and like. But they're so important. It should be a core skill, and I think it's something that a lot of us have in the industry. I think all of us in this Q&A session are probably biased since we're doing public speaking here.
Oh no, dude, if you see me at a conference, I have so much social anxiety, I'll tell you. But seriously, like communication is so important, because like even if it's just with your manager or something, like it's the difference between letting them know that you're unhappy or not, and who knows, maybe that extra question will help you get into a better situation. But even with your teammates and your developers, like you have to communicate, otherwise those problems will fester and just get worse.
Yeah, and it's a roller coaster, right? If you're really, and it's so easy, you have to speak about it. It sounds so easy, but it's not. So many people are leaving their jobs because they're unhappy, and it's solvable. And it's solvable not that every time you have to leave. I'm always telling myself, because I also experienced it, that I was not happy in the place where I've been. But after, I was always asking myself that I don't want to give up because someone makes me hell. I will not give up. This was the main question what I always repeated, even when I really hate some people and couldn't be there anymore. So just go through it, because the running is not the way. It should be always crossed. You have to solve it, because otherwise you will keep running everywhere.
And I think too, there's like this myth in programming that communication is like that we just sit in front of our computer and program all day long, which isn't true. I think even at all levels, and I find it even the more senior I get in a company, the more I'm just communicating or writing or making sure everyone understands our architecture or patterns that we're following. Writing documentation. It's key. We're human beings writing software for other human beings, and that involves having strong empathy and communication skills.
And when you have a bigger team, when you're growing, you basically not programming at all. You're just communicating. This is everything what you do. You have to help the people grow. You have to give them space. You have to give them feedback. You cannot behave like a jerk. Your opinion is not the right one. It's always, there's multiple ways. So
I call jerk programmers Ricks, like from Rick and Morty. Like genius assholes. I hate them. I don't know. I would rather have a Morty on my team than a Rick.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I'd rather have someone who's average but smart and empathetic than a genius asshole any day.
Nice. I got a follow-up question to Ladislav. Actually, I wonder what you think, and I want to see the reaction of you guys. Why specifically Ladislav? Because that's of location-based question, I would say. Don't you feel like those developers from the United States, they live slightly in a different world? What I mean is, isn't it like the reality is harsher, I would say, when you do software, when you do living in Europe and when you're trying to climb that ladder of success compared to the United States, when the ecosystem, VC funding, a lot of stuff. If we talk about even outsourcing business, which is very popular, to have engineers in Kyiv, in Kharkiv, in Prague, in Warsaw, what do you think about this business model, and what do you think becoming an engineer in Europe instead of United States in terms of the reality?
I understand. First of all, of course, it's a different world. Like not different world, but different part of the world. So there are different conditions, different mindset on which we grew up. Especially still us, we grew up in the almost totality regimes. So of course it's the mindset, and especially the self-esteem and all these questions. They're completely different. Like you was always taught to don't believe yourself and everything, and not even for example, I was born after revolution already here, but you have it in your parents, and the parents of the parents is not leaving the society. It will be here another 2-3 generations, but you cannot self-pity yourself or something. This is normal. Everyone has their issue. I'm sorry, we again in Europe, we don't have the issues what they have in America, like the Colby has on the t-shirt, right? I don't even understand this problematic deep enough, that I would be able even to talk about it, because everyone has something. No one has something better or something worse. America is super open. They believe that everyone can do everything. I think it's amazing. And the whole world, I think it's shifting there, because you see where Europe was, where Europe is now, and go to China, it's all, everyone has the condition, but you have to just live with it and be open and try new stuff. It's the same like with the frameworks, don't live in the box. Nothing is perfect.
Sure.
I of course can't speak from experience, but like the good news is like it seems like the companies in the world is becoming more globalized, meaning like the companies support a lot more remote work, so people have more opportunities that they didn't have before.
Yeah, and right now, especially with the coronavirus, right? It's opening completely. Atlassian, from they're never coming back to the offices. They can stay forever on the home office. It means because for the companies, it's clever to do it, right? Because you can, of course, balance the costs of your engineering work. But what it will do, it's not that something that right now the US engineers will not be paid enough. It will just balance a little bit and it will grow again. Like it will be more balanced. I think it's all right. I still don't believe that like full remote work is the way, like to work all the time from the living room. I'm here 2 months and I don't want to be here anymore, but something like some mixture, like you need to see people, you need to drink beer with someone. So it's important.
And what is your take, guys, Joe and Colby, on European developers? What would you advise them if you see, definitely have your own perspective and you see the difference? Obviously, you feel it in work ethic, maybe in communication, in technical. I don't believe that in technical there is a big gap. But from your perspective, what the major difference, and what would you advise maybe to overcome to become more successful in Western world if they decide to immigrate, for example, or they want to work at Google or something like that?
Oh, you mean immigrate into the US?
Yeah, either immigrate into the US or work with American customers, Canadian.
I don't think I can like ethically answer this. I just like don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I've never immigrated. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you can come to Czech Republic if you want to. I can manage the papers,
Okay. After COVID, I'll come over.
Yeah, taking you up on that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Joe, but like I'd like to say kind of, be yourself and work hard.
Yeah.
And I would maybe highlight one thing, and it's that everyone thinks that who's working in the Google is somehow so better or something. They're just the people who tried it and who wanted to apply it. They're the same people like everyone else. I would not see there's such a difference that this is a major league and this is a second league. There's so many good people around. We just didn't choose to be in the huge, big multinational company, and it's fine and it's correct and for everyone is something, but don't have this idea that you never can be there. Always try. It's so easy. It's 2 clicks and you can have interview. So try it.
100%. Guys, Kathleen Leon, what are some advice you can give to someone who's slow on problem solving, who takes longer to complete a task? Especially during an interview, do you time yourself or there is a better approach?
That's me, baby.
Sure, go
It takes me
ahead.
forever to do stuff. I'm not a genius. I think I'm diligent and can work through stuff, but it takes me a long time to do it. I think also, so we're talking specifically about an interview type situation, always be clear about it. You're going to be on a tight time constraint. I think typically though, and at least in the US, you legally have to accommodate for disabilities. So if you have like a learning disability or something, I think they have to accommodate you and they usually will do time accommodations for that. You just need to make that clear to your hiring manager early. But make sure you're just communicating that. Like if I had more time, I would do X, Y, Z, or you know what I mean? Or like make sure you're communicating and like doing what your interviewer wants, even if you don't have the time for it.
I think also another kind of nice one is just like try to like take a deep breath and tackle one thing at a time. You don't want to get overwhelmed by a big problem and show little to no progress just because you're trying to solve the entire world at once, rather than trying to take it slow, going step by step. At least you're making some progress and you'll have something to talk about.
And set up the correct expectations, because when the expectations are correct, no one will be mad on you or something. It's always just about wrong communication, wrong setting of the expectations. After you will just collect the misunderstanding. So if you're open, if you speak about it, or if I can answer more lightly and with joke, become the project manager and you will tell other people that they're slow.
You got them with the good one, sir.
No, and I've hired people who haven't solved problems if they're communicating quickly, like well, and I'm like, I don't know, if I understand that they know how to solve the problem, even if they haven't done it yet, I don't know. That can be enough too. All is not lost if you don't have the correct answer at the end of the board at the end of the interview.
And there's something to be said, like there's a lot of times those code challenges, they might not expect you to finish the entire thing. So kind of like realizing just do what you can.
Yeah.
But it's terrible, right? I
Yes.
hate it when
they really do suck.
When someone will tell you in the middle, you know, like, it's enough for us, you know. It's like, what? What do you mean it's enough? You know?
Is that bad?
You guys glowing. You rock. You like Michael Jackson bad guys, you know.
Totally. Someone's asking about tips for people with no experience and how to break into the industry. So like a lot of boot camp students or self-taught people. Does anyone have any tips or tricks there?
I always point people. Yeah, I always point people towards free code camp. They have a free curriculum. Like you can jump right in and like find out if you like it. You know,
exactly. Don't spend a bunch of money on a boot camp if you don't know if you even like it.
It's so amazing, like what kind of possibilities are nowadays. You know, like when I had to learn, I had the only book which was translated to Czech language, right? And even when after I learned the English properly, or kind of properly, that I could understand, it's still like how long it takes from the books and everything. Nowadays, you don't need to read books. You have video for everything, you know, like and a lot of like wisdom which you can really fast like absorb. Amazing community about every language, you know, like wow.
Yeah. So
good time to learn nowadays.
It is, and there's so many free resources. I think that's something so cool about tech is that like we open source stuff. It's open. There's a ton of like our industry is all about sharing information. Conferences like this, right?
Yeah.
So I have a computer science degree, but I still consider myself self-taught because everything I've learned today is because of things I had to teach myself. And the other perspective I bring here too is I worked at one of the top 10 best developer boot camps as a lead technical instructor. I did that for 4 years. So I worked with a lot of non-traditional CS students and getting them jobs. But I've hired people, I've been hired, and I have found that no one really gives a shit about your education. They only care about like what you've done and can you solve the problem that they're working on at their company at that time. So if you can demonstrate you have projects related to the problems they're working on, that's going to help you. If you're networking and you're working at a hackathon with a hiring manager, that's going to help you. If you're really good at interviewing, that's going to help you. You know what I mean? Like no one cares what your past is. They just care about what you can do. And you have to be able to highlight and show everyone what you can do well. And everyone does it in different ways. Speaking at conferences, writing blog posts, whatever.
Build things.
Exactly. Yes. Bake shit. Yes. If you have a GitHub repo,
do something.
Do something. Yeah. Do something.
Just work.
I give this analogy all the time. Like NBA players don't get better at playing basketball by watching YouTube videos of other people playing basketball. They're out there on the court practicing. You know what I mean? And like for us, I get asked like, what's the best YouTube video to learn this thing? And like, dude, there's this, but you're not going to learn it by watching this. You're going to learn it by building it.
Yep.
Agree. Love it. Absolutely. Love it. I want to say. Guys, we got 6 minutes. Did I say sex? I just say sex.
I don't know.
So we got 6 minutes left before our next speakers. What I want to suggest is to have a quick recap of what we talked about. Just maybe have a couple of jokes.
I can't even remember.
What
did we talk about?
Definitely.
I have meeting in 6 hours. I didn't sleep for how many days, and I don't even know what we are speaking about. So.
You're doing pretty good for a man who hasn't slept. I don't know. I think we talked about we talked to some specifics of some of our talks, which has been awesome. I think all of our talks kind of inspired people in different ways. And I think we've been obviously focusing a lot on just like career development. Let me try to distill it down. I feel like the thing that keeps popping up in our conversations is just like build some shit that you like. Just build anything. Like make a portfolio and don't be an asshole. Does that make sense? Build shit and don't be an asshole.
I think that's a great,
We should make a t-shirt, you know, like.
I feel like
that's pretty spot on.
Yeah, this whole hour-long conversation. You could tweet that out now.
Yeah.
And we're sure to go buy the domain.
Exactly. No, I don't know. Yeah, build shit and don't be an asshole. I don't know. Make stuff, learn stuff, and try to be nice.
And have fun. You have to like it, you know, enjoy, be open, and show it to people. Don't do it for yourself. Show it. Go out, show it what you built, you know. On the end, you're not building it for yourself. If yes, you're lucky. Most probably you're not. So show it to users. You're building it for the users. So
Yeah.
Give it to
Totally.
people.
100%. Guys, I'm going to kick you out.
Okay. Follow me on Twitter at
Thank
Joe
you, Petro.
Carlson1. I love you all.
Everyone, follow
Thanks,
Colby
everybody. Really
on
appreciate it.
Twitter.
Thank you, guys. Ciao.
Take care, guys. See
Bye.
you.
See you.